From the Skagit Speedway at the base of the Cascade Mountains just north of Seattle, Washington, it's the World of Outlaws. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman, and welcome to a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. As Donnie Schatz tries to nail down his very first World of Outlaws championship, and a gaggle of other drivers are gathered together battling for second place in the standings, other drivers are putting an eye toward next year. They're trying to impress their sponsors and team owners, especially the rookies. This has been a year of firsts for rookie Becca Anderson, one of them coming last night. Becca.
It was a great feeling to finally get the run up front and, kind of actually battling for the lead a little bit there with Donnie. That's enough in itself that, if you can even say you can run up front with these guys, that's doing a big deal.
Every month you've had a significant first in the stats categories, whether it be your first heat win or your first dash win.
Yeah, it is. It's just one of those things where I try to be positive, and even though we have a couple bad weeks, just try to look to the next race and don't let it get you down. And like you said, have a first feed every time. And, we got to start on the front row, and even though we didn't win the dash, but like I said, if you can hang with Donnie Schatz, you're doing something.
So it's emotional as well as physical.
Oh, it is. I mean, you try not to get too excited. And, I just kind of bobbled there a little bit last night with the lap traffic. And, one lucky thing I have is my car under Mike Woodring. He, kept me up last night. I was pretty down and said, I made the big mistake. He said, got to remember, you're a rookie out here. These guys have been out on the road 10 years or plus. And, these guys, it's just nature. They just go do it where, I hesitated. But, hey, maybe tonight will be better.
Another rookie, Justin Henderson, was, he picked up his fourth top qualifying honors last night, and he's with our Johnny Gibson.
Well, Art, Justin Henderson, Rookie of the Year contender, was a former champion at the Houston Speedway. Justin, does this place remind you of Houston? You got out of the box so very quickly last night.
Yeah, this place is a lot like Houston's as far as the banking, the size of the track, and the way the track's laid out. But the dirt's a lot different. So when there was still something to lean on there, we were still kind of in Houston's mode. So we're very fast right out of the box. We turned quick time, which is great. My dad builds a great motor, and Dan gives us a good car. So we're able to turn quick time. And come heat race time, we learned very quickly that it's a lot about momentum here. So you can't stop and go and get around race cars here. Scrubbed off a lot of momentum and just missed the transfer.
Part of being a rookie is learning out here on the road. Justin Henderson learned last night. He's hoping to apply it tonight in the finale at Skagit Speedway.
Brad Doty will be joining us when the heat racing action begins. It's coming up next when we return after this break. The World of Outlaws on the Outdoor Channel is being brought to you by Optima Batteries. 4 performers from last night's preliminary feature don't get on the track until tonight's dash. All the others have to go through the regular qualifying process. Joey Saldana posting the quickest lap and top qualifying honors. Second fastest last night. And you won the last race the Outlaws ran here, I think, in 2002.
Yeah, we've had some success here, but last night we've been trying some different stuff for our car for next year, and just wasn't up to par, I suppose, because I took myself out last night and had a really good car, and I think we would have been locked in, but it was my own fault. So hopefully we can not make any mistakes and be up front tonight.
Taking a look at the grid sheet for tonight's first qualifying heat. On the pole, Jamie Barnes. Next to him in that front row, the wild child, Jack Hockenshield. In row 2, Randy Hannigan and Joey Saldana. In row 3, Becca Anderson and Terry McCarl. Then it's Brandon Johnson and Nick Evans along with Bob Stevens filling out the field. Let's go to Johnny and Brad.
Thanks, Art. We're ready for the start of the first heat race here this evening at the Skagit Speedway. Jamie Barnes and Jack Hockenshield out of turn number 4 and down to the green. Racing into the first corner, Hockenshield takes the lead already. Fast qualifier Joey Saldana up to the 3rd spot and going to work on Barnes, trying the low side through turns 3 and 4, but couldn't make the pass there, Brad.
Ended up being a good starter. Like Hockenshield got on the throttle a little early, but he knew it. He got clear out of the throttle, let the 9 car get back up beside him, and they stayed green.
Jack Hockenshield showing the way in the right one construction number 35 as he works off the cushion in turn number 4. 2 laps complete, a lead of 1.13 seconds over Jamie Barnes, who occupies the 2nd spot. Joey Saldana still right on his back bumper as they make their way into turn number 3, but Saldana can't get enough of a grip on the bottom side of the speedway to take the 2nd position.
Yeah, I got to wonder if that bottom's a little bit greasy down there. Little wheel spin right there as he comes off at turn 2.
Hanging right with the here-to-wire number 9, Jay, but not able to make a pass as of yet. Behind them, Randy Hannigan in the 4th and final transfer position as we complete lap number 4.
There you see Hannigan down the back straightaway and get behind him. Terry McCarl not in that transfer spot. Randy's going to have to do all he can to hold him off.
Randy Hannigan certainly knows his way around the Skagit Speedway, a two-time Dirt Cup winner here at this racetrack. That is one of the biggest races in the Pacific Northwest, if not the biggest race in the Pacific Northwest, and he won it back-to-back in 97 and 98.
Well, you have to say it's one of his favorite racetracks. They've changed right there where you see Hodshield down the back straightaway. They moved the whole back straightaway wall out quite a bit, changed the angle a little bit. It used to be more egg-shaped, but Randy Hannigan's still pretty fast.
Jack Hodenshield fast as well, still holding on to a lead of nearly 2 seconds over Jamie Barnes as they work on lap number 8.
Well, we're just talking about Hannigan, and he has closed in a little bit. There, as you see it on Joey Saldana.
Hannigan now within 4 car lengths, but Saldana pulls away slightly down the backstretch. This time the leader will see the white flag. 1 more lap to go here in heat race number 1 for the wild child, Jack Hodenshield.
He's moving around on the racetrack. Let's see what he gets. Yeah, he goes kind of down to the middle, right there through 3 and 4.
Checkered flag in the air. Hodenshield picking up the win in heat race number 1.
Okay, guys, on the Optima Batteries results page, in heat number 1, Jack Hodenshield takes the checkered flag. He, along with Jamie Barnes, Joey Saldana, and Randy Hannigan, qualify for the main event. Then Terry McCarroll, Becca Anderson, and the rest have to go to last chance qualifiers. Well, Jack, it looked like you made the most of things last night, and you come back here to take the checkered flag in the heat race.
Yeah, the Rick Wright car felt pretty good there in the heat race. Qualified 8th tonight, so we're going to be about the same spot we were last night. So, you know, the car felt good last night, so I think we'll be able to get up through there tonight.
Let's check out now the grid for heat number 2. It's Bill Rose on the pole with Jeremy Campbell, another rookie, on the front row. Dion Henley and Chad Kavanaugh in row 2. In row 3, Tony Bruce Jr. and Brock Lemley. Then it's Whitney, Barrett, and Parker rounding out the field. Let's go to Johnny Gibson and Brad Doty.
Second heat race set to come to the stripe for the green flag. Bill Rose and Jeremy Campbell side by side. A nice start there as they roll down the front straightaway.
Oh.
Campbell grabs the lead and nearly some contact there between Chad Kavanaugh, who moves up to second, and Bill Rose, who drops back to the 3rd spot.
Well, I think that was part of that grease we talked about. Rose got in on the bottom and slid up into Kavanaugh.
Lap number 1 in the books. There's your leader, Jeremy Campbell, in the America's Best Value in number 10C. Chad Kavanaugh running 2nd, Bill Rose in 3rd, and Dion Hendy right now in the 4th and final transfer position. Jeremy Campbell already putting him on in the 2nd lap of this heat race, already a full 2nd advantage over 2nd place Chad Kavanaugh. We get a quick look at the RealTruck.com number 11D of Dion Hendy, but the caution flag is going to wave. We've got a car into the wall up in turn number 2. It looks like Brock Lemley in the number 40 machine, and the caution flag flies with 3 laps complete. Set to go back to green flag racing. Jeremy Campbell leads the field out of turn number 4 and past the cone on the front straightaway. Tony Bruce Jr. trying to get a run on Dion Hendy as they race for the 4th and final transfer position. Hendy occupies that spot right now, and Hendy's moving in on Bill Rose. Hendy to the inside of the Dirty Country Motorsports car number 6. Couldn't make the move out of turn number 4.
And that's an insurance spot. That's what Hendy's trying to do. Trying to get around, make sure he's up in 3rd, because anything can happen if he makes any mistake. You can see Tony Bruce right behind the 11 car there, so if Hendy can get up into 3rd there, basically that gives him a cushion. Oh, gets in a little bit low, gets in the grease, and the car pushes on him.
Definitely a push there. That allows Bill Rose to get away and may open up an opportunity for the 2006 Knoxville Nationals Rookie of the Year, Tony Bruce Jr., who is right now on the outside looking in, running in 5th, but trying desperately to get around Dion Hendy, but Bruce drifted way up the racetrack in 1 and 2.
Yeah, you said on the outside looking in. He was way on the outside there, tried to top. The car took a push on him up there.
7 laps in the books, 3 laps to go. Now Hendy right back on the back bumper of Bill Rose's car number 6. Nobody on the back bumper of Jeremy Campbell. Again, a full 2nd lead over Chad Kavanaugh as he sees the 2 to go signal.
Right around the middle to the bottom of the racetrack. The car hanging a little bit as he comes out the corner there. Back in, washing out just some. Boy, the racetrack right there, though, really sticky. Some brown dirt right there in the middle that's worked up.
On the final circuit of heat race number 2, watching Jeremy Campbell have his way with the field into the final corner. Campbell will get the win in this 2nd heat race.
Thanks, Johnny. Jeremy Campbell taking the checkered flag with Chad Kavanaugh, Bill Rose, and Dion Hendy joining him in the A main feature tonight. Tony Bruce, Jesse Whitney, Brock Lemley, Kelly Barnett, and Steve Parker on their way to last chance qualifiers.
You know, it's a pretty unique racetrack. You know, last night was pretty racy. You know, maybe we'll have a good one tonight too. So the car seems real good, set up real good, and hopefully we'll run up front.
We'll be right back with more heat racing action from Skagit Speedway in the state of Washington right after this. Skagit Speedway in the world of Outlaws as we get set for our third qualifying heat of the evening. 8 laps, top 4 going on to the A main event. A couple of local celebrities on the front row. Barry Martinez, last year's track champion, on the pole with Travis Jacobson next to him. He's this year's points leader. Jason Martin and Justin Henderson in row 2. James Mosier and Roy Blumenhagen in row 3. Then it's Fellers, Dietz, and Ash rounding out the field. Let's go to Johnny and Brad.
Well, Art, we've got a couple of drivers who really know the Skagit Speedway on the front row of this one. Barry Martinez on the pole was the champion here last year. Travis Jacobson outside the front row leads the point standings in 2006 as we go to the green flag.
And you see some smoke out of the 66. That's 2 nights in a row while the car's idling around. You get some smoke out of the engine. Maybe just some oil getting past the valve guides in that race car. Once he's under throttle, it seems to be okay.
Everybody scrambling for position. They are chasing this man, the 7J of Travis Jacobson. That's the Jet City Equipment entry. Barry Martinez running in the second spot, feeling the pressure from World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year contender Jason Martin in the NOS Energy Drink car number 36. Right behind them, last night's fast qualifier Justin Henderson holding on to that final transfer spot, but he's feeling some pressure from the Isotopes Brewing Company 12M of James Mosher.
When you can see the track right there, Mosher bouncing through that, starting to work up a little bit.
Track getting a little bumpy on the inside of turn number 4.
And it's not... I'm sorry, Johnny?
Travis Jacobson not having much of a problem with it as he begins to pull away a 2-second advantage over Barry Martinez.
Well, those two guys obviously showing their experience around this racetrack. He's running above the holes. Anybody trying to run through, not really holes, it's just that the track's kind of what we call washboardy right through there, and he just bounces through them. But boy, doing a good job, the 7 car up front.
Side-by-side battle for the second spot. The hitman, Jason Martin, all over Barry Martinez. They'll go side-by-side once again into 3 and 4. Martinez on the high side has the advantage. Close call there as he chopped across the front end of that NOS Energy Drink 36.
And you can see Martin had to really get out of the throttle, slid up across the top. Jacobson out front, pulling away.
Slower cars coming into play here as the 57 of Bud Ash goes a lap down to the leaders. 8 laps complete for the race leader Travis Jacobson. Martinez still holding on to that second spot. Jacobson works his way down the backstretch. He'll look at a white flag this time by.
A lot of pride and bragging rights right here between these two guys.
Travis Jacobson out of turn 2, smoothly down the back straightaway. Score this one for the Skagit regulars as Travis Jacobson picks up the win.
On the Optima Batteries results page, on their way to the A-Main, Travis Jacobson, Barry Martinez, Jason Martin, and Justin Henderson. The rest on their way to the last chance qualifiers. Travis, 2 nights, 2 main events for the Outlaws. Feel good?
Oh, car feels great. You know, I really got to say thanks to my crew. My brother and all of his crew jumped in and helped out. I really got to thank all the sponsors we got, Stanley, Jet City Equipment, and the track tonight's been really great.
What do you think about the track?
I think the track, it's a little narrow right now. It's really hooked up and fast. That makes it hard to pass on, but I really think it's going to widen out for the main event, and it's going to be some good racing tonight.
The cars are already on the track for heat number 4 on the pole. Travis Roots. Brandon Harkness is next to him in the front row. Then it's Brian Carlson and Steve Kilcup in row 2. Josh Edson and Brian Pritchard in row 3. Then it's Start, Climb, and Rogers rounding out our field for heat number 4. Okay, take it away, Johnny.
Set for the green flag in heat race number 4. Another couple of Skagit regulars on the front row of this one. Travis Roots gets the early jump with Brandon Harkness, who won the feature here in their last regular show, running in the second position.
And Kilcup there third.
Car sideways out of turn number 2. That was the 76E of Josh Edson. He gathers it back up. We stay green for now.
Well, I was going to say Kilcup there in the third spot was 4th quick qualifying tonight. A good run for that team.
Especially considering he is driving with a very badly bruised arm, sustained in an accident here last night, was upside down hard in turn number 2 and hit by another car after he had come to rest. But Kilcup doing a great job of gathering it all up here this evening. We're watching Travis Roots in car number 8R as he sets the pace. Roots out of Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The Roots trucking entry, turning some very quick laps around here. 11.770 the last time by.
And running way up on the top, probably higher than anybody in turns 1 and 2 that has so far in the heat races.
Roots showing the way. Harkness running in the second spot. Kilcup third, and Brian Carlson in the 4th and final transfer position as we approach the halfway point here in heat race number 4. Watching Brian Carlson in the SC Motorsports car number 18 work the low line around the speedway. Brian had a good qualifying effort here this evening. He was the 5th fastest time trialer, and right now in that 4th and final transfer position into the main event. Meanwhile, close call for the leader as he works lap traffic. The 3R of Chris Rogers getting a little out of shape out of turn number 2.
Boy, that was close. I thought he was going to go over his right front with his left rear, but no contact made. Now he's coming up on another lap car, 2 lap cars as he enters turn 3.
Meanwhile, the 3R of Rogers rolling down the inside of the speedway very slowly. Again, that was a very close call for the race leader, but he's gathered it back up now. He's got less than 2 laps to go here in this heat race, pulling up on the 76E of Josh Edson. Meanwhile, Adriana Klein about to go a lap down to 2nd place, running Brandon Harkness.
Harkness dives to the inside. It'll slide right up in front of her out of turn 2.
Harkness trying to keep up with the race leader who works the final circuit down the back straightaway. Travis Roots into corner number 4 and down to a checkered flag. Roots the winner of heat race number 4.
Thanks, Johnny. On the Optima Batteries results page, Travis Jacobson, of course, taking the checkered flag, and Barry Martinez, Jason Martin, and Justin Henderson will join him in the A-main feature. The rest on their way to last chance qualifiers. Travis, after winning the 360 Nationals here at this track, must feel good to be with the Outlaws.
Oh, it feels great. With us local guys, me and Travis, we just use this as a great learning experience. And last night I actually beat Donnie Schatz in a heat race. I mean, he's a Knoxville Nationals winner. He's one of the best sprint car drivers in the world. So to see him put a nose on me and me actually pull away a little bit, that's a lifetime accomplishment right there.
Our first look at last night's top 4 from the preliminary feature round. It's the 8-lap dash coming up when we return. Aldana, Chad Kemenaw's next to him, and Justin Henderson, Steve Kilcup, along with Carlson and Martin rounding out the field. Let's take it away, Johnny.
Thanks, Art. We are set for the start of the dash. Donnie Schatz and Brooke Tatton will lead them out of turn number 4 and side by side down the front straightaway.
Boy, if our camera shot down the front straightaway, I thought Tatton was going to take it right off the fence when he went by, but I don't actually know if he made contact.
Watching the field work their way down the front stretch to complete lap number 1. Donnie Schatz is the race leader in the Parker Stores 15, trying to pick up where he left off here last night. Justin Henderson to the inside, making a move around Steve Kilcup. Henderson will grab the 7th position in that D1.
Kilcup, one of the local cars here, making everybody proud here in Washington.
Watching a battle now for the 3rd spot. Darren Pittman has it. Craig Delansky trying to reel him in that Caravan Trailers at number 7. Right now about 6 car lengths behind the Titan Garages entry. Moving up to the high side in turn number 2. Cut a quick glimpse of the D1 of Justin Henderson as he closes in on Chad Kemenaw in a race for the 6th spot. Out in front, Donnie Schatz leading it by a 2.5 seconds. And the Parker Stores machine has that thing working well around the high side of this 3/10 mile oval.
Boy, they've had that race car working well everywhere, it seems like. And man, he's just rolling around the corners. That car looks nice. He looks good. Got a battle back here.
There's Henderson closing in on Kemenaw in a race for the 6th spot with 2 laps left to go in the dash. Henderson right on his back bumper, cuts it down to the inside out of turn number 4. They nearly get together on the front straightaway.
Earlier you talked about Justin Henderson liking this racetrack a lot like Houston Speedway.
Well, another driver who is very good at Houston Speedway is Donnie Schatz. He's won a World of Outlaws feature there, and he's going to win the dash and start on the pole for the main event here this evening.
Checking out the Optima Batteries results page with the 7th pole of the year coming up in the A-main. It'll be Donnie Schatz who took the checkered flag. Brooke Tatton will be on the outside front row for the A-main after the 2nd place finish in the dash. Then it was Darren Pittman, Craig Delansky, Joey Saldana, Justin Henderson, Chad Kemenaw, Steve Kilcup, Jason Martin, and Brian Carlson. Okay, Donnie Schatz on the pole for the 7th time this year, looking for his 2nd sweep of a 2-night event. How did it go out there?
It was great. Race car was pretty awesome. We're glad to get locked in last night. It's going to be a fun race, 40 laps, lap traffic. Hopefully we go green and checkered, but hey, it's going to be a fun night for us. We're excited. Hopefully we can get in that lap traffic, have some good racing, and go on.
It's time for this week's Tech Tip, brought to you by B&W Custom Truck Beds. Earlier this afternoon, Skagit Speedway played host to the 2nd round of the Snap-on Tools Crew Challenge. Round 1 at Princeton Speedway had the 3-man crews changing front axle assemblies for time. Round 2, they changed rear radius rods, shocks, and tires. 15-second penalties went to teams who didn't tighten all the fittings or didn't actually change each designated part. It was the big game tree stands number 24, Terry McCarroll's crew, completing the assignment in 1 minute 31.252 seconds, winning the $600 first place prize. Joey Saldana's crew took second, with Justin Henderson's crew placing third. Now combining the times for the first 2 rounds, it's rookie Jeremy Campbell's crew leading the field. They'll be the front runners going into the final round at the dirt track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, with $3,000 going to the overall winner. That last assignment will be the toughest. Who will change engines the quickest? B-Main action when we return to Skagit Speedway in Alger, Washington.
More than 3,000 years ago, it was a model for the engineering advancement of man.
World of Outlaws at Skagit Speedway. Welcome back. Top 2 from the C main advance to the B main, joining the back of the field. And those top honors go to Kelly Barnett and Bob Stevens. Let's take a look at the grid sheet for the B main. On the pole will be Tony Bruce Jr., James Mosier also on that front row. Then it's Josh Edson, Terry McCarroll, Brock Ledley, Roy Blumenhagen, Brad Pritchard, Brandon Johnson, Whitney and Fellers, Tharp and Evans. We're set to go for the B main. Last chance qualifier. Only 4 spots available in that A main. Take it away, Johnny.
Thanks, Art. We are ready for 12 laps of B-Main action. Green flag waves on this one as Tony Bruce Jr. jumps out to the lead in the best well-serviced car number 18T. Terry McCarroll making something happen on the high side of the speedway. He is up to 3rd in the big game tree stands entry. Everybody fighting for position through turns 3 and 4.
Well, Terry McCarroll, we talked about Justin Henderson in the dash liking Houston Speedway. You see McCarroll to the outside of Mosier. He also runs well at Houston Speedway, the 24, Terry McCarroll.
McCarroll was 6-time champion at the Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota, just east of Sioux Falls. And Terry McCarroll now up to the 2nd spot in that big game tree stands entry. He's got the Knoxville Nationals paint scheme working here this evening at the Skagit Speedway.
Well, they qualified really poorly tonight. That put them behind in the heat race, didn't make the transfer, and that's why they find themselves in the B main.
McCarroll still some 1.2 seconds behind your race leader, Tony Bruce Jr. James Mosier occupying the 3rd spot, and right now Brock Lemley in the 4th and final transfer spot as we complete lap number 4 in this 12-lap affair.
Looks like McCarroll's pulled the top wing back.
Trouble in turn number 1, a car sideways and backing up across the racetrack. It's Kirk Fellers in the 77F car. Restart for the B main goes down the front straightaway. Tony Bruce Jr. leading Terry McCarroll. Battle for the transfer spot heating up. Josh Edson looking to the inside of Brock Lemley, trying to grab that spot as they enter the turn 3 area. Edson makes the move down low work, pulls up in front of Lemley, and Josh Edson will move the deal Ford number 76E into that final transfer position.
Making the bottom work in 3 and 4. He stayed on the bottom 1 and 2. He's going after Mosier now.
Brock Lemley not giving up. We saw a little what appeared to be smoke off the tire, but I know there's no rubber down on the racetrack, Brad, just in case the tire getting a little warm and the cool moisture creating some steam.
Exactly. That was just steam. Wasn't smoke, just steam coming off. A lot of moisture in the air, and the tire heated up, and that's exactly what you saw.
Lemley not giving up on that transfer spot. Meanwhile, Tony Bruce Jr. looking smooth out in front of the field, already opening up about a half a second lead, maybe a little more over Terry McCarroll. Just 4 laps to go in this B main.
And Tony got a great restart, got on the throttle. It looked like McCarroll in 2nd spot actually did a wheelie, had to get out of the throttle, and that really was the advantage of Bruce as he pulled away from him.
Josh Edson continuing to hold on to that final transfer position in front of the 40 car of Brock Lemley. They roll down the front stretch and into 1 and 2. Edson started 3rd in this event and fallen back to 6th, and Lemley a close call up against the guardrail in turn number 4.
Boy, that was close, but yeah, you were talking about Edson. He did fall back through. Boy, they got that car. I don't know if you moved the wing on it, made some cockpit adjustments possibly, but he got really fast after that restart.
Brock Lemley giving it everything he's got to try to get back into that transfer spot, but running out of time. The white flag has flown for your race leader, Tony Bruce Jr. He rolls into the 3rd and 4th corners for the final time, puts a lap on Kelly Barnett, and takes the checkered flag as the B-main winner.
Thanks, Johnny and Brad, as the last 4 positions for tonight's A-main event have been filled. With the top 4 from the B-main, it's Tony Bruce Jr., Terry McCarroll, James Mosier, and Josh Edson.
We had a terrible qualifying run earlier today, and I mean, we're just plugging at it. Crew's working hard. I'm trying to get better as a driver, and we're just kind of going after it. And it's it's all about track position here. This place is real narrow coming off the corners, so I mean, it's all about where you start.
Has the actual track changed much from last night?
Last night was a lot drier, and tonight's real sticky, real fast, and I think the A-Main is really going to be pretty exciting.
Coming up next, the 40-lap A-Main feature event. Points leader Donnie Schatz looking for his 13th win. He's on the pole, tapping on the front row. His car owners are from this area. We'll be right back. The World of Outlaws on the Outdoor Channel is being brought to you by Optima Batteries, B&W Custom Truck Beds, Advance Auto Parts, Eckert Pharmacies, and by PartyPoker.com. A-Main feature from Skagit Speedway. On the pole and filling out the first row, 2 drivers from the Mean 15, Donnie Schatz and Brooke Detnell. In row 2, also from the Mean 15, Dermot Pittman and Craig Delansky. Row 3 features 2 more Mean 15ers, Joey Saldana and Justin Henderson. In row 4 from the Mean 15, Chad Kemenow. Next to the season's leading Rookie of the Year candidate is Steve Kilcup, this track's 360 points leader. In row 5, a couple from the Mean 15, Jason Martin and Brian Carlson. From the Mean 15 in row 6, Dion Hindley and Randy Hannigan. Row 7 from the Mean 15, Jack Hottenshield and Jeremy Campbell. Then it's heat winner Travis Jacobson and Brandon Harkness. Heat winner Travis Roots and Perry Martinez. In row 10, Bill Rose and Jamie Barnes. Row 11 finds B-Main winner Tony Bruce Jr. and James Mosier. Rounding out the field in the 12th row is Josh Edson, and from the Mean 15, Terry McCarl. $25,000 goes to the winner. Here's Johnny Gibson and Brad Doty with a race call.
Thank you, Art. Ready to go green on a 40-lap, $25,000 to win main event. They roll out of turn number 4, and it is the 8-car Brooke Detnell getting the jump from the outside of the front row to take the lead. Detnell, a great start from the high side of the speedway, puts that race outfitters number 8 out in front of the field. Donnie Schatz trying to hold off Craig Delansky in a battle for the second spot as everybody works their way out of turn number 4. And trouble.
Upside down.
Upside down, big time on the front straightaway. It is the 6 of Bill Rose. Also involved, Terry McCarl, James Mosier coming to a stop there. Bill Rose getting upside down. Well, Brad, as the field works their way out of turn number 4 at the end of the first lap, Bill Rose getting tangled up with another car, gets upside down, a series of flips down the front stretch, and a couple of other cars just getting a piece at the end. Terry McCarl, lucky he didn't go over himself.
Yeah, that's what happens, Johnny, on a little racetrack like this. When Rose got turned around, got upside down, you have a car rolling up along the wall here. There was part of the front axle of Rose laying on the racetrack. He had no choice but to stop.
Ready for the restart. Again, Schatz and Detnell out of corner number 4. Again, Detnell gets a great start, and he will lead the field down the front straightaway. Everybody searching for racing room through turns 1 and 2, and now down the back straightaway. Donnie Schatz trying to catch up with Brooke Detnell, who will lead lap number 1. Schatz in 2nd, Craig Delansky in 3rd, and Justin Henderson up to 4th.
Boy, we had a shot of Henderson going around the outside of a couple cars. Got a great run through that corner. Look at this. Joey Saldana at the inside of Pittman.
Trouble in turn 2. James Mosier caught a wheel in turn number 2. Got up against the outside retaining wall and is slowing in turn number 2 to bring out the caution flag once again. Brooke Detnell creeping through turn 3 into turn 4 and now drops the hammer. We go back to green. Got a quick glimpse of Justin Henderson again up on the high side of the speedway. Henderson going to work on Craig Delansky as they battle for the 3rd position.
And Johnny, he had such a run off the corner. Looked like he had to get on the brakes to keep from running over the back of Craig Delansky.
Boy, Henderson nearly bicycled the car up on the cushion that time through turns 1 and 2. Justin Henderson, the Rookie of the Year contender, running 4th and trying to catch up with the crowd pleaser Craig Delansky in the race for 3rd. Henderson in that Dan the Sonic Man Jolt Energy Gum car number D1 working the high line around the speedway. Meanwhile, the leader's about to start working the slower traffic. Brooke Detnell down the backstretch in that race outfitters number 8. Catching up with the 12M of James Mosier. Travis Roots got into the wall in 1 and 2, gathers it back up, and Terry McCarl looks like he's headed back to the pits in the 24 car.
Look at Detnell here, the leader out front with thank you big on the wing. Look right at the top there. We got our onboard camera mounted right up on top of that wing, right at where it says thank you as he goes to the inside, lapping Mosier.
James Mosier goes a lap down. Schatz gets by the 12M, as does the 7 car of Delansky. Watching Dion Hindley work the inside of the speedway. Chad Kemenow on the high line. They are battling for the 8th spot.
Oh, Mosier slowing down.
Caution flag waving once again. This time Mosher coming to a stop at the exit of turn number 4 on the high side of the speedway.
Boy, just as the leaders were getting into heavy, heavy lap traffic.
Brooke Tatnall has put on an outstanding show for his car owners and friends who hail from this area. We'll see if he can keep smiles on their faces when we return to Skagit Speedway. Skagit Speedway, just north of Seattle, Washington, where our leader, Brooke Tatnall, has been very impressive. Here's Johnny Gibson and Brad Doty.
Johnny, we're getting a shot of Tatnall's car. It looks like the left front brake line is torn off the race car. That's what he's pointing out. He does not have any brakes on that race car. You can see the left front brake line dragging on the racetrack as he goes by.
So Brooke Tatnall's got a long way to go to try to make it around here, especially without that left front brake. On a tight racetrack like this where you get into the corner so quickly, that left front really helps to set the car into the corner.
Well, not only is the left front going down, everything's going because all the brake fluid's be pumped out of that car. He has absolutely no brakes. And with the lap traffic on this racetrack, boy, that is not a good thing.
There it is, a good shot on our outdoor channel monitor. The brake line knocked off the left front corner of the Race Outfitters number 8. We are set to go back to green, but Brad, the leader, is in trouble. He's got the brake line knocked off the left front corner of that car.
Well, he went to the top on both restarts, and I kind of wondered why, but he has no brakes on that car. Got a shot of it under caution, the left front brake line off. That means that all the brake fluid's going out of that car. He has no brakes front or rear.
Brooke Tatnall trying to hustle the car around without any brakes. He continues to lead it with Donnie Schatz in second, Craig Delansky in third, and Justin Henderson riding the high side in the 4th spot. Now Joey Saldana to the inside of the speedway, gets by Darren Pittman, move the Brownsburg Bullet up into the top 5, and then Casey Kane Racing number 9. Trouble in turn number 2, a car doing a 360. It's the 9J of Jamie Barnes. They stay green. Barnes keeps the car fired, now heads toward the inside of the racetrack, but we continue to race around the speedway under green.
Boy, and that had to be so unnerving for the leader.
And now the caution flag waves as Barnes stops in the middle of the back straightaway.
Good thing for Brooke Tatnall because they just saw him go by some lap cars there. Boy, how unnerving. No brakes on that car, and he shot to the outside of that lap car. If the lap car would have moved up on him, he could have been in trouble.
Brooke Tatnall leading the field back to green, and again, the problem is no brakes on the Race Outfitters number 8, and the second and third place cars know it.
They sure do, and they're going to pounce on him if he gets in traffic or he has any trouble at all. They'll be right there. But look how fast he is out by himself.
Tatnall turning laps in the upper 11-second bracket. That's not very much slower than we qualified here earlier this evening.
Joey Saldana going after Justin Henderson down in 3 and 4.
Craig Delansky bouncing the right rear off the wall at the end of the front straightaway. Saldana and Pittman both get by Justin Henderson a little further back in the pack, dropping Henderson back into the 6th position. Donnie Schatz, instead of worrying about Brooke Tatnall with no brakes, has his hands full with Craig Delansky as they battle for the runner-up spot, and Dion Hindi and Chad Kemenaugh continue a torrid battle for the 8th position.
Tight racing here, one around the top, one on the very bottom. Let's see if Hindi can get a run on the outside. Not quite yet.
Dion Hindi goes back to the cushion, 1 and 2. Chad Kemenaugh hugs the bottom. Again, watching a battle for the 8th spot. Kemenaugh continuing to hold off Hindi there. Meanwhile, back into traffic for your race leader, Brooke Tatnall. And again, this is where the problems are really going to come into play, Brad.
Absolutely. Right there is part of it. You can see the car push as he got on the cushion. Somebody spun.
Red flag. We've got a car upside down over in turn number 4.
And we were
66 car of Barry Martinez is upside down over in turn number 4.
And we happened to be on the leader, Tatnall, as we saw him take a push to the corner and able to maneuver the car, his car down off the banking to avoid the 66. Now, if this is an open red, possibly Tatnall could get his brake line fixed.
Well, Brad, as we get set for the restart, you can see some blue duct tape on the left front corner of the Race Outfitters number 8 of Brooke Tatnall. Under the red flag, the crew taped the brake line and capped off that brake line. He still does not have any brakes on the left front corner, but at least he will have rear brakes.
Yeah, what it probably did was pull the brake line out of the caliper. They didn't have time to change the front caliper, so they just capped it off. He should have rear brakes, but no left front.
We go back to green with Tatnall holding the lead. 16 laps complete in this World of Outlaws feature event.
In the traffic, stabs that brake pedal pretty hard. It could lock the rear wheels up and actually spin the car out.
Well, Brooke Tatnall certainly not doing much with the brakes right now. He's on the hammer around the high side of the speedway. In fact, he picks the front end up off the ground as he comes out of turn number 2.
Every now and then you'll see the car push as he goes through the corners. There he's looking good, but if he hits anything at all, the car will push. Well, that goes back to he can't ride the brakes to keep the left front turned because it's not working right now.
Brooke Tatnall, the 5-time World Series Sprint Car champion in Australia, out in front of the field here as we see the halfway sign, 20 laps complete, 20 laps to go in this World of Outlaws feature at the Skagit Speedway. Tatnall looking for his 4th World of Outlaws 8 feature win of the season. The man behind him, Donnie Schatz in the Parker Stores 15, trails by 1.58 seconds. But again, lap traffic will be coming back into play momentarily.
Well, again, Tatnall definitely breathe a sigh of relief having some brakes when he gets in all this traffic on this short little racetrack here.
Keeping an eye on Justin Henderson, who is currently in the 6th position. Steve Kilcup, the Skagit Speedway regular, closing in on him as they work through the traffic in turns 3 and 4.
Kilcup doing a great job for the locals here. I'm a little partial to that blue 18 car.
Oh, Brooke Tatnall really got into the inside berm trying to go through the traffic there in 3 and 4. Goes back to the bottom in 1 and 2, trying to work on Tony Bruce Jr., and that's allowing Donnie Schatz to close.
He is getting held up big time. It seems like no matter where he goes, look at that right there. You can see Schatz closing in. Seemed like no matter where he tried to go around the 18 car, Tony Bruce, he was stuck.
Tatnall back to the cushion and down the back straightaway, but again, Schatz has cut the lead down to a little more than a half a second, so he's chopped a full second off the advantage, held by Tatnall at the halfway point.
Well, obviously Tatnall with no left front brake, that's hurting him mentally too. He's got to be frustrated. He's got a fast race car. He's out front of this thing. He knows it. Look at that.
Craig Delansky to the inside, and Delansky will take the 2nd spot from Donnie Schatz. The crowd pleaser with the move on the low side. Schatz trying to return the favor through 1 and 2, but Delansky will hang on to 2nd.
Now that's a good thing for Tatnall. If those guys get to racing each other, we got a car.
Trouble in turn number 4. It's Josh Edson in the 76E, and we are under caution once again.
There's a break in the action. Let's take a break for the Outdoor Channel. We'll be right back. Johnny.
We are ready to go back to green flag racing with 26 laps complete, and Brooke Tatnall out in front. Now he's got a new challenger right behind him in the form of the crowd pleaser, Craig Delansky, and Delansky immediately dives to the bottom in 1 and 2 there, side by side for the lead. Tatnall able to hang on with the momentum up on the high side of the racetrack. Delansky's been working very well down on the bottom of the speedway.
But Tatnall now back up to speed, has his momentum.
Darren Pittman back to the inside of Joey Saldana, but we're back under caution. It's Steve Kilcup. Steve Kilcup, who had been running in the 8th position, loops the sign marked car number 18K in between turns 3 and 4. Once again, we go back to green with Brooke Tatnall and Craig Delansky racing into 1 and 2. Delansky again tries the low side of the speedway. Donnie Schatz going to try to come at him on the high side, and Darren Pittman trying to get back by Joey Saldana and move back into the top 4.
We can watch Tatnall in those restarts that went in the middle of the racetrack. You can tell he's not comfortable with that car as far as the braking power. So he goes in about the middle of the racetrack. Now he's back up to speed where he can roll around the top, actually pulling away there from Delansky.
Tatnall begins to pull away from the Caravan Trailers number 7. Caution flag waves once again. It's Josh Edson who has spun one more time in the 76E car. Back underway. Once again, Tatnall to the high side, Delansky down on the bottom, Pittman to the inside of Saldana trying to make a move for the 3rd spot, and Schatz trying to work his way around Craig Delansky for the 2nd position.
Oh, but they both go to the bottom there.
Delansky has it wired, leads them out of turn number 2. Delansky holding on to the 2nd spot. Darren Pittman has gotten back to 4th, has gotten by Joey Saldana. And Tatnall once again starting to check out. Tatnall was definitely fast with the open track.
Oh, we got a car upside down.
Car upside down in turns 1 and 2. Red flag waving on the speedway. Travis Jacobson got a piece of the action as he went by. Brooke Tatnall trying to hang on for an improbable victory after the early problems with the brake line on that car. He's got Craig Delansky right behind him, and Delansky again dives to the bottom in 1 and 2, but again, it is Brooke Tatnall on the high side of the speedway able to power away.
Well, having that, there's Hodenshield started 13th. He's been on the move up to, what, 6th position as he goes after Joey Saldana.
Hodenshield going after the Brownsburg Bullet in a race for the 5th spot. Saldana up high, Hodenshield drifts to the cushion at the exit of turn number 2, now goes to the top side once again in 3 and 4. Saldana a little out of shape out of the corner, but Hodenshield not close enough to take advantage. He'll try the low line through 1 and 2 this time.
Yeah, there he's in the middle doing some wheel spin, and Joey gets away. Meanwhile, the leader, Brooke Tatnall, pulled out again off this restart. Johnny, we mentioned it a while ago, that the red flag, it was a closed red. They couldn't fix that brake line, but they also didn't allow these guys back here to get their crew chiefs out there to work on those race cars and make them any faster. Tatnall still holding them off.
Tatnall, Delansky, Schatz, Pittman, and Saldana continue to run in the top 5. This time by, there will be 5 laps left to go for Australian driver Brooke Tatnall, trying to win in front of his car owner's hometown crowd here at the Skagit Speedway.
And he's about a straightaway behind a bunch of lap cars again, so he knows where he's at on the racetrack. He's going to have to be careful, though, again, as he gets up into heavy lap traffic. I doubt if he'll try to pace himself because he doesn't know who's behind him and how close, as we see Hodenshield rolling around the top here.
Hodenshield has lost another spot. Kemenaugh has gotten back by Hodenshield, and now Kemenaugh trying to move into the top 5 as the leader begins to circle through the traffic out of turn number 2. Brooke Tatnall down the back straightaway around the 18 of Brian Carlson, now sets his sights on the 7J of Travis Jacobson, the Skagit Speedway points leader. Delansky still holding off shots for the second spot, but Tatnall checked out and gone right now. Kemenaugh to the inside of Saldana, and Chad Kemenaugh moves into the top 5. White flag waving for Brooke Tatnall. Tatnall 3/10 of a mile from a $25,000 payday. Shots to the inside, slides up in front of Delansky. Donnie Schatz takes second on the last lap. Leader into corner number 4 and down to a $25,000 checkered flag. Brooke Tatnall wins at Skagit. Schatz in second. Delansky third, Pittman fourth, and a great run for Chad Kemenaugh to come back into the top 5.
Okay, guys, a storybook ending for Rush Racing, the team whose owners are based in the state of Washington, whose driver hails from Australia. We'll be right back with interviews, the final results, and how it all affects the championship standings right after these words. The World of Outlaws on the Outdoor Channel is being brought to you by Optima Batteries, B&W Custom Truck Beds, Advance Auto Parts, Eckerd Pharmacies, and by HardyPoker.com. Roy Renfro fighting pneumonia, directing the crew, and the team's owners on the scene to add extra motivation for Brooks' 4th win of the season. On the Optima Batteries results page, it's Donnie Schatz making the last lap final turn pass on Craig Delansky for 2nd place after an outstanding race-long battle between the two. Pittman nails down his 22nd top 5 of the year, with Chad Kemenaugh gaining his 10th top 5 performance. The night's top qualifier, Joey Saldana, Hodenshield, Hannigan, Henderson, and Campbell rounding out the top 10.
You know what? I mean, we were in the hunt there, but just come up a little bit short.
It's pretty tough to pass an open racetrack. You got to hit lap traffic, and I mean, we just kept having too many yellows, and that's kind of wrecked our race. Our race car gets better the longer you run it, and you only run it 4 or 5 laps at a time. It makes it kind of difficult to get where we need to be. So,
I really want to pay tribute to our crew chief, Troy Renfro. He's as sick as a dog. He's got walking pneumonia right now, and most guys would have thrown the towel in and said, hey, I'm staying at the motel. And you know, it's a tribute to all this team, but just proud that he's here with us.
In the standings, Schatz adds to his championship points lead. He's now 294 points out in front, but the race behind him is tightening up big time. Delansky is now only 43 points out of 2nd place. Pittman 38 points behind Delansky, and with tonight's win, Tatnall is now just 37 points out of 4th place. Despite Jeremy Campbell's top 10 finish tonight, Chad Kemenaugh adds to his runaway lead for the Kevin Goldberg Rookie of the Year presented by Maxim Racing and Butler Build Honors. That does it from Skagit Speedway in upstate Washington. The Outlaws now travel south to Medford, Oregon, our next scheduled telecast on the Outdoor Channel. This is Art Eckman for Johnny Gibson and Brad Doty, thanking you for being with us. Until next week, so long, everybody.